All right, here's class number 11. I think this is the last video, video 4. I just wanted to go through some additional examples because I found this technique to be a bit, it annoyed me when trying to assign some of these early problems, that it was not intuitive on the solution. And in some cases, the solution from the solution manual didn't work. So I wanted to point them out without assigning them. But maybe if you wanted to attempt this in the future and you still had access to this video, this would be helpful. All right. So this is problem 5.8 out of Norton. This is one of the first problems that he assigns. You can see this figure P51, so it's really right there near the beginning of the chapter, where he assigns for this type of what we've covered today in this class in 2 positions analytical synthesis. And he does give the free choices here. And I question his free choices and whether they were good free choices. But those the ones that he assigned. He had Z of 1.075, a phi of 204.4, beta 2 of negative 27, an S of 124, a psi of 74, and a gamma 2 of negative 40. All right. So right here is what the solution that he's put up and what that says. Notably, things that weren't suggested as a free choice was that you had like a 62.5. I want to jump and say that that's alpha, I believe. The delta 2 is also the difference between those two. But let's see that in a minute. Anyway, over here on the right is the, so this one works out pretty well, but it's hard to tell. Okay, so first off, he doesn't do the same thing as the example. The example used what would be V, it would be what would normally the coupler was the thing that moves. Now, in this one, what he's used really is the side. Like he's made the side of the piece, right? So you kind of had to know that when it comes to what he had said. All right, he decided that 1.075 was, I believe, is actually the length of the thing that we're dealing with, right? So here is me trying to go through and put in the values that he said. All right, so here's the was starting his origin at P1x, right? Where P1x, let me see if I can get rid of this. This right here is his origin. You see there's X and X. And then this was P2, was the locations of 2.138 and 1.236. All right, so that right there, and negative 1.236. And then he made the angles right here. So the theta P1, which I think you could say the difference of two versus delta, is that right? He made this sort of like the origins, the angles of these things, 210, and I think that's this guy. Yeah, he starts out at 210, and then he moves over to 147.5, which, oops. Start again. Yeah, so here's our 210 and 107.5. So these are both things that are known. And then he's saying that, so I said that the hypotenuse, I don't usually use that, but I used it this time, is the hypotenuse of those two. So we are able to get that length, P21. And the alpha is the difference of those. And the delta is... yeah. So the alpha is the amount that the change in angle, and the delta is the sort of like the original orientation, right? Because P10, P1 x and p1 y are both 0. So this is going to be a tan 2, by the way, is the way to go when trying to find angles. So this is rise and run of that original vector. So it's really sort of the orientation. So it should probably actually be equal to p theta 1, or theta p1 is probably what delta 2 is going to be equal to in this case. No, I see it right there. This is the angle of p. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the angle of it right there. That, and then this is the change, really, or the angle between the two. And then the free choice is to pick, as he mentions, Z1, which I think is going to be the side of this. And then he's got these angles don't exactly match. That's the thing that bothered me with these. But that was the one. These are the ones that he was up in the right up above, where he said 204.4 and negative 27. So I was still trying to resolve that. And then the other choices, I think he also made those suggestions. But that's really about he's really defined a triangle. He defined a really lousy triangle, by the way. It was not a very good triangle. So here is the left side, I believe, of trying to do that. Bing. So there's your Z. So we got those out of the way. And you got and by the way, I put an L and an R next to these for these different outputs. So here's the A, B, C, D, E, and F. And then here's the W1X and W1Y. So we're able to get that value and then get the length of it and the angles of it. All right. And I'm not so sure about that. Oh, yeah, we got theta too, I think. Yeah. I think that makes sense. Where I have that angle, and then I got the theta 2. I'm a little leery of that. Right. Oh, I know. I'm just turning that. Sorry, I'm just turning that into a degrees, right? Because I report it later. Okay, that's why. So I get them. I get the values if I needed them. I don't know if I actually. Oh, I know. Is I wanted to make a vector, a quiver of this. All right, so then I did the right side with the W's, or did I just do that? I feel like I just did that. Oh, I guess I left them in there. That's right. I want to use the U's. So I have the S's because I was given that information of the S's that was part of my assumption. Right, so I kind of made a triangle, and so I needed those S's. Before I was just using this guy right here as the Z's, but now I need an S, and it was given to me because I presumably drew a triangle at some point and selected that. So this was a good one to choose. So I got the AR, BR, CR, DR, ER, FR, and now with that I'm able to find the U's, which is like the thing I was trying to do on the right side. On the left side, I try to find a W. On the right side, I try to find the U's. So I get them, and I can get the length and its orientation, both before and after. And then I can go ahead and get the coupler, which is in a bad location, kind of, I think. All right, so I don't show U2 for something. There you go. And V2, excuse me. There's V2, V1 and V2. Those are the triangles for this. And then I can get the ground and place the ground in there. And I can get the magnitude and angles. And now I have everything I need to have synthesized a 4-bar in these two positions. Still not, I still don't feel very comfortable in trying to do this on my own without already being given those assumptions, those assume pieces. But this is what the thing equals, and here is my quiver onto the thing. and I did not make a SolidWorks out of it. So that was one. It worked. I'm a little leery of the triangle that they assumed, because they assumed the other lengths. And what was very weird about it was that instead of using the V as the chi in the middle, we used the side of it. We had Z, and that they don't exactly line up. Like his assumptions weren't exactly or his suggestions weren't exactly the same values as if you were to measure it off of this diagram. Here's one that doesn't work at all. I didn't bother to go through it much further because you can see the solution. It makes the ground all the way up here, much higher than we saw. And when you look at it, it doesn't. It's supposed to go through P1 and P2, and it doesn't even use the link right here as the assumed spot. Like, because you could see that here's A1 and B1, and then it doesn't actually pass through the position. So I don't know if I agree with this solution. I don't quite understand why he would have arranged for it that way when it can't be done. I can even go through it a little bit and go through motion gen, and load it up. And one of my choices, let's see, boom, here, files for examples. Is that what I wanted? Files for examples, or did I want something else? Oh no, I think I went for miscellaneous for some reason. Yeah, that was weird. But here's the solution to this. Let's move it down to here. And as you can see, and you know what I didn't try? I didn't try A2 and B2. Let's try that one. Right, so I'm just looking at that thinking, boom. All right, and now we go from here to here for A2, and then here to here for O2. Make that right there. Move them to that point. Try to make that move down a little bit. Like him a ground. And it makes sense to make that one move. And you can see that this point does not go over to here. So I don't see how that's supposed to be the solution to this. It doesn't make sense to me. And same thing true for, like, if you go to right here and right there, that is not a solution to go through both points. Let's see where I think I messed this up somewhere. Like to go to right there and right there. Yes. Okay. So that would be the spot, right? From there to there. This would be the spot, I believe, that it's supposed to go through, and it doesn't go through that point. Sorry, that point. Yeah, see, it doesn't go through both points. There you go. It's supposed to go through here and there. So I don't quite understand. So it's difficult to like assign these things when you can't get the correct solution. Now, even if you give the students the solution manual. And then lastly, here is 516, right? So this is the third problem that's possible in the textbook for these to do these use this approach. And right there, first off, it doesn't do anything with it's aligned with the first. So I don't know how you were supposed to make it doesn't even tell you in the problem statement to make these assumptions. How are you supposed to, how is a student supposed to know that you should use what I believe is the 55 and 44 and 55 in the book were those were the numbers, that values that you're supposed to choose, but or you're supposed to know those. Not sure how a student was supposed to figure that out based on what was provided. So this is one last problem where you could do it, right? So this is a difference, right? So 521, I believe in the next class I will begin with 522, so we could see. This one's a little boring because it's just rocking back and forth, but you could kind of see that we could get these values, and I'm uploading this the MATLAB for this, but you can kind of see now a little more than all the others the idea of the forming of a triangle to know, and then it's the angles that you can kind of assume, and here's the 44 and the 55 that you can assume are the sweep of these, and then you get the idea of this is where the grounds need to be. So that's the solution to this, and I haven't made this next part a animation, but I will now. And I know that's just exciting to see something animated through here, but there's nothing groundbreaking in this code. It's only merely this would be what you would get out of the thing. So for completeness, we would say we start off with all these parameters, and we know these are the attachment points onto the box. So we're able to get all of these vectors, z, s, and v. We have the length and the angles of all of them. And the free choices are that 44 and 55, and they're going clockwise, so they're both negative. So we could use our strategy to get the z, to get the w's. So we get the w's and use our strategy to get the u's, and now we're done. We can get the coupler from that, but we already kind of knew that. So this should be unnecessary because it's right over there. You might have wanted the V1 for something, and the on the V2 for something. Just for the ground. But I didn't need the V. The V was already, I'm just replacing that. It's the same. It should be the same. So you get here's the printout of the answers, and then there's the motion of the two things. And we'll do problem 522 in the beginning of the next class, which is between this position and that position right there, which is perhaps a little bit more of an interesting motion. So the end.